I remember writing a book and publishing a book as the number one thing I wanted to do every year on my New Year's resolution. And so for me, I put it on the resolution as publish a book. And I didn't even finish writing a book. It's kind of hard to publish a book if you haven't even wrote one yet because you don't have anything to edit. You don't have anything to publish. You don't have anything to do with it. But I was a teenager at the time, and then I was a college student at the time, and then I realized that it had been number one on my resolution thing for at least 3 years. 3 years. And this is the three in sign language. I know a little bit of sign language, just a little bit. So I'll use that as three instead of what? This is six in sign language. So I use three instead. Anyway, I decided that I was going to change things up and I was going to make getting a book published a priority. So I decided to write one page every day during the summer. And it didn't matter what kind of summer it was, didn't matter if it was raining, didn't matter if I was a little tired. I tried to write one page every day for the summer. And I mostly succeeded at that. And at the end of it, I had started like five, I think like 11 Tristrolli books. Now I got 19 of them. They're published. They're on Amazon. You can see them now. But that summer, I just started them. I didn't know where it was going. I didn't know the characters. I didn't know anything. And so they were only half written, though. I'll say that. And I got through those. And so if you think of a summer that's roughly 3 months, then that's roughly 90 days. That's roughly 90 pages or more. Because I didn't always just write one page. A lot of times I would write 2 pages or 3 pages or however many I felt like. And sometimes even wrote 10, but they were already in book format. I say it that way because it wasn't like a full 8 by whatever page. It was, the book format page. And that just helped me to move forward. And I put them on Excel spreadsheet. Now, a lot of people don't like Excel spreadsheets. They work great for me because I like to update them every day. It's like scratching something off my list. If you're one of those people that like to scratch something off your list and write a list, it helps me because I would put a to do, like I had a goal amounts. So for reality, my first book that I published from the Zell Saga, I had a goal of like 400 pages. And I think it turned into more than that. But anyway, the goal was 400 pages, and I wanted to write a novel, and I did get it up to 50,000. And if I was writing a book today, I would not have written that book at all the same way. I would have made a lot of different choices. But you know what? If you don't actually move on to another book, then you don't gain the experience that you would get. So I wrote that series. I wrote the Tristrolli series, and I finally published Reality in 2015. And there was a lot of things going on with that, a lot of things that I learned, but I got my story out there. I got my book out there. I remember getting it read in Denmark. This dad put a comment on my reality book. You can see it. He's like, I think it was a dad. I don't know if it was a dad. It could have been a mom. Anyway, this person put it on my book. They said, I didn't buy this book for myself. I bought it for somebody else. And it sounded like they probably bought it for their kid. And they're like, but it's great for what it is. And so they gave me 5 stars. I'm like, that is so cool. But the coolest thing to me was it was from Denmark. And I'm like, that means that I'm outside of the US being read. And since then, I have published more books, and I had somebody read my books from India. Somebody over there reads them a lot, and I appreciate you, whoever you are. But I had my books read from India, and I've had them read in England, and I've had them, I don't know if I don't get a lot from Canada. I usually get a lot from, like, I had it from Norway once. So Norway, Denmark, and I've had it from just different places around the world. And it just excites me. I have been read around the world. And if I had given up and not written that one page a day during that summer, that would not have been a possibility a couple years down the road when I went ahead and published my books. So, uh, after that, life got a little hectic, and I'm like, yeah, I know it works, I know it's great, but life is crazy. So sometimes your creative energy just gets drained, and mine did. And I had other priorities with my life going on, and I took a break from writing, and I didn't get back into it for like 5 or 6 years. So once I got back into it, I thought, you know what? I know that 1 page a day works. It worked then, it'll probably work now. So I made that a goal. And I made that a goal in 2019 of December because I randomly found a piece of paper that said, goal, write 1 page a day. And I think it popped up on my Facebook memories or something. And I decided, you know what? That was a great goal then. It should be a great goal now. So I started doing that in 2019, and I've been doing that. This is 2024. So this is March of 2024. I've been doing that for a long time. And over the course of that, I have published a ton of books. I finished a lot of projects. This past January, when I went ahead and looked at what I completed for the year and I crossed off my Excel spreadsheet because it was completed, I noticed that almost all my books, they're I don't know how many there were on there, but almost all of them had progress this year, and a lot of them were finished. And that's the first year in a long time that I've seen that much progress. And so it was super exciting to me. But anyway, if you write 1 page a day, you can write a book. You can write a novel. You can write something. If you write anything on a consistent basis, you're going to get a book written. And yeah, it might need edited. Yeah, it might need work, but that's okay. That is perfectly fine. So just think about it. There are 365 days in a year. Well, in leap year, there's 366. You can write, most books are less than 365 pages. Not all, but a lot of them are. And you can write a book in 1 year. If you, it doesn't even take that much to write one book a year. I looked it up. Let's see. Oh, I knew I wouldn't want to do the math because I do that on my phone. So if you want to write a book in 1 year's time, and you count words, because I didn't when I started, but sometimes I do now, 137 words. 137. 137 words. That's all you have to do to write a day, to write a novel in 1 year. Most of us can do that in a text message. Most of us can do that in a Facebook message complaining to somebody. Most of us can do that on our 15-minute break. There's no reason you can't write a book in a year. So it's all about choices. Now, am I going to say that a book is great? It may or may not be. I know that when I write a book in one sitting a lot faster, then the book is more coherent, it's more easier or whatever. But technically, you can write a novel in 1 year with 137 words. All right, so let's step that up. Let's say you got a better goal than that. You want to write it, you want to edit it, and you want to publish it in 1 year. 250 words a day. It'll take you 200 days to write the book. That gives you 165 days to edit the book. Now, I know some of you are like, well, I'm writing a really long novel, not just a short 50,000 word novel. I want to write a long one. It's an epic fantasy. It's 110,000 words. Well, honey, all you have to do is write 500 words a day, and you'll still finish your epic novel in 1 year's time. You can do this. This is possible. Like, if I had these numbers when I started, and I had heard, oh, I had to do was write like 137 words to 250 words a day to write a novel, I would have done that because I work well with numbers. Not everybody does, but think about that. 200 words a day. That's nothing. We sit there and complain in a Facebook message or a text message or something to somebody at least 200 words a day. I am positive most people do that. Or we write on our games and we message people that. So let's say that you don't have time to write it. There are voice to text options. That means you can get an app on your phone and you can voice it and the dictation will show up and then you can just correct it real quick. Yeah, that takes a little bit of work, but it's possible. It's possible to do it in 1 year. And I like to take writing walks. What I do is I will type, when I'm overwhelmed, I'll talk into my voice recorder and I'll take a writing walk for 15 minutes. Those first 2 minutes, they're not worth much. But those other 13 are solid. And that'll get me, if I'm on a roll, it can get me 2 to 10 pages, depending on how fast I'm talking. So if you have a goal to write a book. It's possible, and you can do it in 1 year's time. The question is if you're ready to sit down and write 137 words each day.